Hello, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and today you're going to be doing the history of the New York City subway tokens. This is episode 13 of the series, so let's get these out of the bag and let's get started. So let's get started with the very first token design. In 1953, this token style was introduced to replace the paper tickets, and this design would be used until 1970. Now, this was an updated version of the token until 1980, but alongside that, this token was introduced to the public in 1979. In 1980, both those tokens were replaced by this specific token, and this would last until 1986. This would last until 1995. This would be used until 2003. Now, this token here is the smallest one in the entire token history, and it's the size of a dime. While the other tokens, besides the sixth one, are between the size of a nickel and a quarter. While the last token is the size of a 1 cent penny. Now, the original token design is a very simple design. In one side, it has the transit company, and on the back, it says only good for one fare. And also, very uniquely, it has the distinguished, very common yellow Y that was used at the time. The Y was a hole. While the second design, it is pretty much the same one, but except it's a lot bigger. For the 1979 token, the Diamond Jubilee, the design is so unique because of the diamond. This was supposed to represent 75 years of when the subway first opened. And when you celebrate 75 years of something, like 75th years of marriage, you get something called a Diamond Jubilee. The Diamond Jubilee is also the most unique one out of all, because even though it has the same type of lettering, one says 75th anniversary in Diamond Jubilee, and the other says good for one fare. The 1980 token is pretty much the exact same of the first two tokens, but except the only major difference is that the Y is entirely colored in. In 1986, the huge redesign came out, and this token is a lot different. Like the other tokens before it, one side says good for one fare and the other for the New York City Transit Company. The last token is pretty much the most interesting one. The 1995 redesign is a much more updated version of the 1986 one. Gone was the colorless silver front, and it was replaced by a pentagon hole. This design was last used in 2003 when the New York City fully replaced the tokens with the Metro cards, something that we still use today. However, starting in 1993, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority started to put in new turnstiles to help with the MetroCard distribution. And in 1997, they started to put it in select places to help replace the entire token system. It was very slowly phased out. The last time the tokens were used for the subway, it was discontinued on April 30th, 2003, while for the buses, the tokens were used until December 31st of that year. The remnants of the tokens are actually pretty easy to find. One of them is the booths, and they're currently used to help people navigate or if they need something for trading or buy Metro cards. And the turnstiles. Most turnstiles in the system have a token dispenser where you would put your token into the system and you would go through. Here's a recording of it to show. So this is where you would tokens, and this is where you would get them if you didn't slide them in. And it's pretty dirty. So yeah, there's a lot to find with the token system. They're even represented in some subway cars. They took with the history with Omni. When the tokens were introduced, they were only 15 cents. But in 2003, when they were discontinued, they were only $2.50. We forget to realize what was actually there before the Metro cards. The reason why I made this video was because I wanted to show off all my tokens. And that's not all I have. There is more. The reason why I made this video was to talk about the Metro card at some point. The reason why I made this video was because I wanted to discontinue. The reason why I made this video is because I wanted to talk about the Metro cards at some point. The Metro cards are being discontinued, and for very good reason. I can't wait for what Omni can give us. I have used Omni before. It's much better than what we have. And I want to thank you all for watching this episode of the New York City History Trips at my home. And I want to thank you guys for actually watching this history trip video with my subway tokens at my home. Have a good day.